My name is Hailey, and welcome to Folk Friday. Now, as the holiday season is quickly approaching, I imagine you have some pretty serious questions rolling around in your mind, the largest of which, what is the deal with Christmas elves? Where is that elf Christmas connection? And today, we're going to be breaking that down together to the best of my ability in under 5 minutes. Are you ready? Let's go. So if we're going to be talking about Christmas elves, a great place to start is just elves in general. So what is an elf and where does it come from? So a significant part of the belief system held by Celtic cultures was that of the nature spirit. So this is going to include all of your wee folk, gnomes, fairies, leprechauns, and of course, elves. The exact origin of these creatures have been lost. Today, folklorists believe they played a large role in the pre-Christian religious beliefs held by Celtic cultures. As Norse or Scandinavian people were influenced by these religious practices, they began to adopt some of the elements into their own folklore, which is where we start seeing like gnomes, elves, and things like that appear in more Scandinavian traditions. As there is more and more cultural exchange between Celtic cultures, Norse cultures, and the rest of the continent, these stories begin to spread as well, and you have similar stories to the wee folk popping up all throughout Europe. So after Christianity was spread to these areas, the religious role of wee folk kind of took a back seat, but they were too deeply ingrained in the cultural identity of these places to be wiped away entirely, which is why we're still going to see legends of wee folk and mythic creatures popping up. In 1812, we get the very first known written connection between elves and Christmas time with a book published by the Brothers Grimm. So in this story, there's a shoemaker who has a ton of shoes that he needs to complete, and a group of elves appear to him, and they complete all of his work before Christmas time. Following the Brothers Grimm, there are several books that were written in the following decades linking the two, including two works, one by Louisa May Alcott and the other by Austin Thompson. Christmas and elves were now linked, but they really became part of the cultural zeitgeist when they appeared on the cover of the Christmas edition of the Gooday's Lady book. So this is a highly influential American women's magazine. And when they appear on the cover, there are hundreds of thousands of people who see this and then make the visual connection between elves and Christmas. And after that, it is just like wildfire. Christmas elves are everywhere. Interestingly enough, Gooday's is largely attributed to also popularizing the modern Christmas tree. So this is how we end up with the pop culture phenomena that is the Christmas elf. But that's not the end of the story, because in Scandinavian countries, Christmas elves still have many connections that link them back to the more traditional elf that we talked about earlier. For example, the Norwegian Nissa is a gnome-like guardian that, if treated well, will protect a family and livestock from evil, famine, all other sorts of misfortune as well, and they play the role of Christmas elf. For the Norwegians and Scandinavians of all sorts have their own version of this with different names that I would butcher horribly. So do you or your family practice a more Scandinavian style Christmas elf belief? Or do you go gung-ho on the American, like Buddy the Elf understanding of a Christmas elf? Maybe you do something completely different. And if that's the case, let me know in the comments. I would love to know more about all kinds of elves. Maybe even have an elf on the shelf who's visiting you right now. But that marks the end of this tale. Have a great rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you later. Bye.